What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Dan Squidz back again for part 4 of our Crash Bandicoot N'Sane Trilogy Let's Play. We are picking up right where we left off, so let's continue. It's quite late tonight. I've just put my little boy down to sleep, so I'll try not to be too loud. Hopefully he doesn't wake up, because that will be disastrous. Okay, let's have a look. And it's funny, you know, if you're, okay, so I've already said this 3 times, but I'm 30 years old. Now, if you're younger than 30, 30 may seem like it's quite old, right? Because I remember when I was like 18, and I'd think of people who are 30 years old, I'd think, oh wow, you're old. And the presumption is that when somebody's 30, they're gonna have like, they're gonna have everything together. They're gonna have all their stuff together. They're gonna be like, you know, fully functioning adults in society. And I guess like on paper, like I can understand why people think that. Like you know, I'm married, I have a kid, I have a mortgage, I have a full-time job. So on paper, it's like, all right, you're doing everything an adult should. But I just want to speak into like the feeling, because whatever 30 feels like I don't feel 30. I still feel young. Like, I always assume that by the time that I'm a dad, like I'm gonna feel older. Because when we grow up and we look at the example of our fathers, they always come across as fatherly. I hope what I'm saying isn't getting lost in translation. I guess the crux of what I'm saying is, it's yeah, I don't feel 30, right? I don't feel 30. But yeah, being a dad is cool. It's full on, right? It's like no one can really prepare you for it. You see other people with kids and you have like an assumption on what parenthood will be like, look, I know it's different for everyone, but for me it was like a really intense transition. You know, I guess in life you go from, let me just wait for that flame. You go from being like, oh, I should have hit that. Next one. You go from being like, I don't know if selfish is the right word, but like intently focused on yourself when you're young and single, right? And then the first, like I would say, major change in terms of your focus and responsibility in life would be getting a partner. When you get a partner, what ends up happening is you can no longer just focus on what you want to do. You have to start taking another person's opinions and desires into consideration. But I think that sort of like gaining of responsibility and lessening your own desires reaches its crescendo when you have kids. Because ultimately you have this child that is fully dependent on you, right? Like absolutely fully 100% dependent on you. Oh, did I jump too soon? No, that was good. They're dependent on you for everything, for survival. So, hold on. Me need focus one more time. Bum, bum, bum. No? Okay, this way, yeah. So that changes things. So your life is completely beheld to this child. Any sort of personal desires, dreams, goals, they all have to kind of take a back foot when you have a kid. Which, by the way, I'm not hating on. I think that's the natural progression in life, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. But it's not easy. It takes some getting used to, right? I remember the first couple months after my son's birth, we both found really difficult. My wife was finding it difficult to adjust to being a mother. You know, she would tell you herself her entire goal in life was to be a mum. You know, I don't even know where all these boxes are. But when we had our little boy, oh golly, what happened there? Yeah, she was a little taken aback at how difficult it was to adjust. She always thought like being a mum was her life's purpose, and that she would take to it like a duck to water. But it's not always that case. Sometimes you have a difficult child. You know, more when I say difficult, I don't mean that they're difficult as in terms of their nature or temperament, but more in terms of like they're a difficult sleeper, or they're a fussy eater, or they've got like our son had colic. So that's a problem with the way he digests the milk, and that caused reflux, which led to a lot of discomfort. in the early days. And you know, the interesting thing is when it's your first child, you don't know what the baseline is yet. Like, you haven't developed that intuition into what's normal for the child. So whenever they'd cry, you'd fully go into like doom and gloom mode. You'd think it's the end of the world. You think there's some major health issue. It's really scary. Like, you definitely get no sleep. Like, what everyone says is true. There is no sleep, especially when they're like newborn. You're up every 2 hours feeding the baby. Like, every 2 hours you're up. There's no sleep. So that's fun. But yeah, it gets easier. It definitely gets easier. Like, especially now when they get a bit older and they like recognize you. Sorry, I'm just trying to get on that. And they recognize you and they see you and they smile when they see you. There's like, honestly, there's no better feeling than waking up every day and your son turning over in bed and looking at your face and smiling. It's like every single day is magical because of that. So I definitely recommend having kids. If you're one of those people that were kind of like on the fence, oh, you know, I don't really know if I want kids, I'll just like ask you this question. What is life without that? You know, yeah, you may say, oh, you know, I'll be able to do more things and focus on myself and my relationship and whatever else, but there's only so many things you can do. There's only so many things you can have. I think life is, like, what makes life important is the legacy that we leave behind. And, you know, do you want to be an old person with nobody around you, no one who loves you? Or do you want to be that old person surrounded by family in your dying moments? And that to me is like the most important thing. I grew up in you know, a WOG family, so family was always a big thing. We had a massive, you know, My Big Fat Greek Family, like the movie, that's what we had. Oh damn. So yeah, if you're younger, the first bit of advice that I would give is get married. Get married. If you find a good girl or a good boy, don't hesitate. Get married. You know, a selfish life, which is what society and culture and media and social media tell us to live, that doesn't lead to happiness. Contrary to hold on, what's happening here? Okay, I see. Yeah, contrary to what everything in culture is telling you, it does not lead to happiness. Happiness can be found by taking on responsibility and by, you know, serving other people in life, living an others-centered, others-focused life. That's where happiness comes from. I think these turtles I kind of need. Hold on, let me focus. Oh, okay. Sack that off. I'm jumping on the rope. But yeah, get married, have kids. I'm not saying it's easy, right? It's definitely not the easier option. Having kids, getting married is hard. It's a lot of work, right? Like, you know, it was easier when I was living at home, watching Netflix in my room all day and like having no responsibility. That was easier, but that's not a better life. And it's times like these. Oh, come on. Damn. And it's times like these. I think of a quote by John F. Kennedy, and the quote goes like this. Oh my gosh, that was red hot. I've kept you in suspense. The quote goes like this: "Do not pray for easy lives, but pray to be stronger men." And that to me is like so important. You know, you don't want an easy life. People talk about, oh, I just want an easy, chill life. That's not a good life. A good life is a difficult life that you can bear. You can bear the burden of that gladly because you're strong, and that's what you should aim for. So do not do things that will weaken yourself. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying in the last episode. Things that deliver that instant sense of gratification, that instant dopamine hit at the expense of your future self. Do not do them. What are these things? Well, you know what they are. If I told you to think of 3 things that you're doing in your life that you know aren't good for you in the long run, you probably don't have to think very hard or very long to come up with 3 things, right? So like, I feel like we all kind of have an idea of things that we're doing that we shouldn't be doing. And I guess what I'm trying to tell you to do is the sooner that you can forsake doing those things and start doing the things that have long-term benefit to you, the better off you're going to be in life, right? When we're young, we don't like to we think about the here and now. We're not really thinking about the future too much, and that's kind of natural as a younger person. But as you get older, right, you rue and you regret the decisions that the younger you made. You're like, oh, if only I had done this when I was younger, or if only I had done this. So what I want for you is to not live that life of regret as you get older, because sometimes by the time you get clarity on an issue, it's too late to make changes, and you've just got to live with the consequences. And there's nothing worse than that, than kind of being stuck. So yeah, my advice to you people is think about your future self, think about your future family, and be kind to them. Do good things now for them. Anyway, if you guys are this far into the series, that's pretty awesome. You're pretty dedicated. What I will get you guys to do is leave a comment down below. You know, often people talk about leaving a like and a subscribe and all this stuff, but I don't really know what a like does for a channel. Like if I told you guys like the video really helps out, I don't even know if it does help out. But if you leave a comment, it's at least more of an interactive way where I can kind of get to know a little bit about you, tell me a little bit about your Crash Bandicoot experience. And yeah, let's interact. Come on, I think we're nearing the end of the level. Booyah. 20 boxes, my goodness. There we go. I think we'll call it for this part. Thank you guys for watching, and let's continue on for part 5.